want to say a little bit now about the end pieces of the bug net. As you can see, there's sort of a triangle here. On the other end, there's a triangle as well. The reason for that is to give a little more room at the foot and the head. I've tried some versions where I've had it sewn out flat and then widened it in the middle and so on. That's okay. Although if I don't get the sizes quite right, then there's a little bit of tension on the bug net. And what I'm really trying to do here is to minimize the tension that's on the bug net. And so this gives me some room to do that. Now, along the lines of trying to minimize the tension that's on the bug net, there's a tricky bit to get around as you have the zipper going from one side to the other side here, and that's this corner right here. You think about it, you can't have a zipper that goes here and then makes a right turn and goes down that way. And so what I've done is with this end piece as such, then the zipper comes along and then crosses over. It comes up above the edge of the hammock and crosses over and does sort of a turn and then goes down the side of the hammock. Another point, as far as the sewing in of the zipper, is that nowhere on this stretch here is the zipper attached really to the edge of the hammock body. The zipper is attached to the bug net. It was sewn in. That was a bit of a challenge to get it right, but what it did do was to completely remove the zipper from the stresses that are on the hammock body, and that was one of the things that I was after. I have a number of attachment options for a bug net, and I've tried a number of them. So let's start with, the minimal requirements. So this bug net right here is something that I made with no-seeum that I got from Thru Hiker. Weighs 0.7 ounces per square yard, so that's pretty light. And this piece that I cut weighs just 2 ounces. And so 2 ounces is our starting point, and then the question is what more is needed to attach the bug net to the hammock. So one of the things that one can do is add a little more netting to pull down over the edge, and then do some belly bands, and so now you've got a little bit of elastic and some hooks and things. That doesn't add very much, and so perhaps with 2.5 ounces we could have a closed-in bug net doing things that way. All right, well, so belly bands and the like are a little bit of inconvenient, particularly when you have quilts and such. Not completely unusable, not completely unusable at all, but slightly inconvenient. Myself, I like complete enclosure when I can, so I'm not so much of a gram weenie that I'm going to cut corners there. And so what I would really like is I'd like to have a completely enclosed enclosure. So the options that I've got. So I could have a zipper on one side, and that would mean then that the bug net was with me always. I wouldn't have the flexibility of rolling it off to a side. So what are the considerations there? Well, the zipper, like this weighs 3.5 grams per foot, and the zipper pull, something like this, weighs 2.25 grams. So if I were to make a bug net that had a zipper just right one down one side, you work out the math, and it turns out to add another ounce. Okay? So that's not too much to have a nice enclosure. But what if you want the flexibility of having the bug net out of the way? So there are a couple of ways one can approach that. One is to have the zipper on both the long sides and the foot side, and then be able to have the 3 side zip and then bundle off to the top. Okay, and so perhaps that'd be a little bit more convenient. You wouldn't have the bug net rolled off to the side. You'd have it up at the head where you wouldn't see it. That option, because of the extra zipper, weighs 1.9 ounces beyond the cost of the bug net itself. The option that I've chosen here, where we have zippers on 3 sides, but one of the long sides is sewn in, weighs 1.6 ounces. And what this means is that the difference between one long zipper and 3 sides the way that I've done, the price of flexibility so that you can put the bug net away is 0.6 of an ounce, and that's certainly a price that I'm willing to pay to have that flexibility. So does it really work? If I know my audience, you're hoping for a crash. So let's open her up, climb in, and see if we get that crash. So we've got double pull zippers. Pull them to both ends. I should say it's important that when one gets into the hammock and closes the zippers, you do not want to go around that corner. There is some tension there, and you just don't want to exacerbate that situation. And so you can get in and should get in with the zippers not around the corner. It does leave one enough room. Ease in, the netting over your head like so. Once you're in, then close the foot end a little bit. Get your feet in. Bring that down to the middle. Bring this down to the middle. And there we are. Bug free. Ready to go. Ready to snooze. So here, our interior view. Get a sense of how much room is in here. I can lift this foot up like so. I can lift both of my knees up. They touch the hammock. I have my elbow on one side. It goes all the way up to the top. There is enough room in here. If I could have a nice pillow to elevate my head, then I could hold a book here and I could read it. So this is actually quite an adequate amount of space, I think, for at least my needs. And I hope the needs of the fellow who's getting this hammock. Okay, let's go through the whole sequence of taking this down. I already started with zippers pulled off to the side. I'm going to unzip them all the way around. Disattach the lifters. Undo the ridge line. Now with the ridge line, I can bundle up and then tie it off. Do that momentarily. Let's have a look now at what one does to roll up the bug net. So I'm going to start at the middle and make a roll and then fasten it with this. I'll spread the bug net out. Interesting to do a little bit of wind that we have. And just roll, 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 roll. Shock cord around, there's a loop. There's cord lock. Flip it over the cord lock. And now we'll do the same at the corners, folding them in to take in the excess. I'll take this bit and make sure I'm rolling towards the thing that's going to hold it in place. And then it's loose. And just run it over the cord lock. Hold. And then we do the same at the other end. The thing we're going to do is remove the spreader bars. Starting at the foot here. May need to loosen up this loop a little bit with fingernail, but it will come apart. Put the spreader bars aside. Don't lose them. The strategy now is going to be to unhook the suspension from the tree, roll it into a bundle to the hammock, and then roll the hammock into a bundle and put it into the stuff sack. That's disattached. Make a bundle. One thing about UCRs is that you can tuck away the loop that goes to the tree, and then you have the extra line that's coming through that's being buried. And the extra line is what you can use then to bundle this all off. So now at this point, what we're going to do is start a roll with the hammock. Just roll it forward towards the bag. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Want to make it, oh, I don't know, maybe 9 inches wide, something like that. Bunching up like so. Now when we get to the suspension cords, we can just keep on rolling. We can keep on rolling all the way up to the apex of the suspension triangle, and then we bring the bag down, stuff it in, and close it off. We'll disattach the suspension Marlin spike hitch. Now what we're going to do is create a bundle. This bundle is going to go into the outside pocket of the stuff sack, but before it does, we need to rescue the tree huggers, not to be forgotten, and put those in the pocket first. So through the wonder of physics that allows time outside of YouTube to advance at a different rate than time inside of YouTube, I have rescued one of the tree huggers already and I rolled it up and put it into one of the two pockets. And now I have the other tree hugger, and I will slide it into the second of the two pockets. And then what that leaves is just enough room in the top to slip in the cord and then apply the Velcro to seal the whole thing down. We'll rescue from all of this attachment and the attachment for the other end. And now if we like, we can make a pretty little bow knot. And have a little carrying handle. So in the words of the immortal Porky Pig, that's all, folks. I've got to hand this thing off to USPS shortly and get it to its new owner. As much as anything, this video is a how-to manual for him. Had an opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the issues of creating a sewn-in bug net for one of these things. It's a challenge, but we like challenges. So, happy trails. I hope to see you out there sometime soon. Signing off, Professor Hammock.